What if the person you trusted the most isn't coming to save you? What if the empire you inherited is actually a trap, and every choice you make could push you closer to the edge? In Landman Season 3, the game has changed. Cammy thinks she's in control, but she isn't. The cartel is watching. Hidden deals are about to explode, and Tommy, once her shield, isn't coming back. This isn't just a business war anymore. It's survival, betrayal, and a reckoning that could destroy everything she thought she knew. Cammy's world has already begun to crumble before the season even starts. At the end of Season 2, she believed firing Tommy would prove her strength, that she could lead MTEX without him. But the truth is far darker. By cutting ties with Tommy, she removed her only real protector. Isolation sets in fast. First, Monty is gone, leaving secrets buried in his wake. Then Tommy, the man who balanced power with loyalty, is pushed away. Nate refuses to betray Tommy, making Cammy feel more alone with each passing moment. Even Galeno, who invests millions into MTEX, only respects power backed by strategy and foresight, qualities Cammy hasn't yet mastered. Every corner of the company now hides danger. The mysterious documents Monty left behind weren't just financial errors. They were carefully hidden connections. Deals tied to land routes, oil distribution, and channels that link directly to cartel interests. These weren't mistakes. They were traps waiting to be discovered. And now the responsibility and the danger falls entirely on Cammy's shoulders. Pride has always been her weakness. She refuses to call Tommy for help, thinking proving herself is worth more than survival. But with the cartel already circling, every decision she makes could trigger consequences she can't anticipate. The danger isn't loud. It's silent, subtle, and invisible until it's too late. Shipments delayed, contractors intimidated, rumors spread. In the oil industry, reputation is currency. A single misstep could drain investors, crumble partnerships, and embolden enemies. Cammy tries to hold everything together, calling emergency meetings, demanding loyalty, but she's fighting with no leverage. Tommy, meanwhile, isn't watching the chaos unfold in the way she hopes. He's busy building CTT, his new empire, with every deal strengthening his position. This isn't revenge with guns or dramatic explosions. It's strategic, calculated, and cold. Letting Cammy face the fallout alone is his version of punishment. He isn't cruel. He's focused, and he's aware that weakness attracts more danger. Every moment Cammy struggles without him, he gains not just power, but clarity. And then there's Rebecca, calm, collected, and always 3 steps ahead. She's inside Tommy's company as COO and chief counsel. But what if her loyalty isn't to him? What if every action, every question, every observation she's made is part of a bigger plan? Federal investigators rarely make mistakes. They place the right people in the right positions, and Rebecca is in the perfect role to monitor financial flows, contracts, land deals, and corporate communications. If Monty's hidden documents flagged MTEX to the authorities, then Rebecca has the inside access to trace everything. Her presence could turn CTT into a silent investigation hub, uncovering cartel connections, offshore money flows, and hidden alliances. And Cammy? She's in the crossfire, unaware that danger isn't just outside her office, it's inside her company. Cammy's struggle becomes more than a fight for power. It's a test of survival. She misreads the threats, underestimates the cartel's patience, and overestimates her own experience. Every secret Monty left, every off-the-record deal, every subtle warning is a bomb waiting to detonate. Pride keeps her from asking for help. Fear starts to creep in only when the consequences are undeniable. By then, the cartel doesn't care about explanations. They enforce agreements with ruthless efficiency. The very empire she inherited, which she thought would prove her competence, now threatens to consume her. Tommy's rise contrasts sharply with Cammy's vulnerability. While she scrambles to control the chaos, he builds momentum quietly, cleanly, strategically. CTT isn't just a company, it's a statement. It's his revenge era, but not one of destruction. It's a demonstration of survival and dominance. Investors, partners, and even enemies watch as Tommy's operation grows stable, reliable, and untouchable. Cammy's choices, made out of pride and desperation, now define her downfall. And if violence or direct threats from the cartel escalate, the stakes multiply exponentially. Federal attention, corporate collapse, personal danger, all of it intersects in a perfect storm. Section 1 ends with a simple, terrifying reality. Cammy believes she's fighting a business war. She believes Tommy is her greatest threat. But in truth, the real danger is hidden, moving silently and completely unavoidable. Pride has isolated her, secrecy surrounds her, and the people she trusts most may not be allies at all. Survival in Landman has never been about skill alone. It's about reading the unseen, anticipating betrayal, and knowing when to step back. And Cammy might be too late to do either. Cammy's isolation isn't just physical, it's psychological. Every boardroom meeting, every decision, every call is a reminder that she is alone in a world built on trust, strategy, and silent threats. She thought she could control MTechs with sheer determination. She thought firing Tommy would prove her strength. But strength without foresight is fragile, and Cammy is learning that the hard way. As she digs into Monty's hidden documents, a chilling realization sets in. These weren't mistakes, they were deliberate. Every transaction, every off-the-record deal, every untraceable agreement points to a network so deep and dangerous that a single misstep could cost lives, money, and power. The cartel doesn't need loud confrontations. They operate quietly, subtly, and with patience that kills faster than bullets. Cammy's pride blinds her to that truth. She refuses help, thinking independence equals power. But in this game, power is only real when you can survive the unseen forces moving against you. Meanwhile, Tommy's world is a stark contrast. CTT grows with precision and control. Every investor meeting, every strategy session, every handshake solidifies his dominance. He isn't seeking revenge in the traditional sense. He isn't plotting to destroy Cammy. His revenge is far more effective, letting her face the consequences of her decisions while he builds a future untouchable by chaos. The power vacuum she created by pushing him away is exactly what he needs to rise. His empire isn't fueled by emotion, it's fueled by calculated moves, strategic partnerships, and a patient understanding that in business, the strongest player isn't the one who strikes first, it's the one who survives. And survival, in Landman, is rarely obvious until it's too late. Rebecca's role adds a layer of tension that Cammy can't even perceive. Calm, measured, and always observing, she operates like a shadow inside CTT, but what if her loyalty lies elsewhere? Every document she reviews, every question she asks, every subtle move could be part of a federal investigation. She isn't just ensuring the company runs smoothly, she's mapping the network, following the money, tracing the invisible threads that connect MTechs to the cartel and beyond. And Cammy, unaware of Rebecca's true purpose, continues to act with boldness that could be deadly. Pride drives her decisions, but in this world, pride can't shield you from consequences that are quietly building in the shadows. The danger is cumulative. A delayed shipment, a contractor backing out, a sudden rumor about MTech's instability. These aren't random events. Each one is a signal, a warning, and a test of Cammy's ability to react. But she reacts with pride, not prudence. She refuses to call Tommy, she refuses to bend, and in doing so, she escalates the very threat she hopes to control. Every step she takes draws her deeper into the trap Monty left behind. He didn't just hide documents, he hid strategy. He knew who could handle it, and Cammy isn't ready. The cartel doesn't just want compliance, they want leverage. And right now, Cammy is the easiest target. Tommy's absence complicates everything. By walking away, he isn't being cruel, he's strategic. He knows that weakness attracts attention, and by allowing Cammy to face the consequences of her pride, he solidifies his position while she struggles. But this isn't a simple tale of abandonment. Tommy is not heartless. If violence escalates or if the cartel's moves threaten broader operations, he will have to intervene, but only on his terms. He isn't rushing to save her. Every decision he makes is measured against survival, stability, and control. In Landman, that's the most dangerous kind of power because it's silent, precise, and inevitable. And the stakes extend beyond just Cammy and Tommy. Galino's $44 million investment in CTT brings a new layer of pressure. This isn't just money, it's expectations, oversight, and influence. If the cartel destabilizes MTechs, it risks impacting Galino's investment indirectly. That means Tommy isn't just building a company, He's protecting an ecosystem of influence and capital. Any misstep by Cammy, any faltering move, any hint of instability doesn't just threaten her, it threatens everything Tommy is carefully constructing. And as the tension grows, every character is moving in a world where loyalty is uncertain, alliances are fragile, and survival depends on reading the unseen. By the end of this section, the audience understands one thing clearly. Cammy isn't just fighting a business war. She's trapped in a multi-layered battlefield where every ally could be observing her for motives she cannot see, every choice could trigger catastrophic consequences, and pride could destroy her faster than any external attack. The storm isn't coming. It's already here, silent, patient, and waiting to strike. Cammy's world is closing in on her from all sides, and the weight of her decisions is becoming impossible to ignore. Every day brings a new threat disguised as a minor problem. Contractors suddenly disappear, shipments are delayed, and subtle warnings come from every corner of the company. Cammy, stubborn and proud, believes she can manage it all. She still thinks she's in control, but the truth is terrifying. She isn't. The cartel doesn't make mistakes, and they don't forgive pride. Each small problem is a strategic move, testing her limits, measuring her response, and waiting for her to crack. What she perceives as challenges she can handle are actually signs of a much larger plan forming around her. A web of danger built from every secret Monty left behind, every untraceable deal, and every hidden alliance. The more Cammy digs into the documents Monty left, the more she realizes she is in over her head. The papers aren't just about money. They map connections, land routes, oil shipments, and financial transfers tied to the cartel. They are evidence of power, of influence, and of the deadly consequences for anyone who mismanages them. Her pride blinds her from asking for help, but the world she inherited doesn't reward pride, it punishes it. The cartel doesn't care about her grief or determination. To them, she represents instability, and instability is dangerous. And as she scrambles to maintain control, the quiet, inevitable pressure builds layer by layer. Every action she takes is being watched, every mistake is cataloged, and every attempt to assert dominance without strategy could trigger disaster. Meanwhile, Tommy is carefully watching from a distance, not because he wants to harm her, but because his priorities have shifted. He's building CTT into a fortress of stability, power, and influence. And every decision he makes is calculated to strengthen his position. He isn't out for revenge in the traditional sense. He's creating a contrast. Cammy is struggling, vulnerable, and exposed, while he's growing stronger, more secure, and untouchable. Survival in this world is measured not by who fights hardest, but who adapts fastest. Tommy understands this instinctively, which is why he won't rush to save her. Not yet. He knows that stepping in could compromise his own empire and risk the fragile control he is building. In Landman, power isn't about emotion, it's about leverage, patience, and timing. And Tommy is playing the long game. Rebecca's presence adds a layer of unseen tension that Cammy can't perceive. Calm, precise, and observant, she holds a position that gives her access to every corner of CTT. But what if her role isn't just to manage the company? What if every subtle move, every question, every document she reviews is part of a federal investigation? Rebecca is collecting information quietly, building a network of evidence that could expose cartel money, hidden alliances, and illegal transactions tied to MTEX. Cammy is unaware that the threat isn't just the cartel or her own mistakes, it's also a silent, highly strategic investigation happening right under her nose. This isn't about dramatic raids or public confrontations. It's about gathering power and influence without anyone noticing, letting the law catch up with those who underestimated it. The tension escalates further because the dangers Cammy faces are interconnected. The cartel pressure, her inexperience, and Rebecca's hidden investigation form a collision course. Each subtle act, the delayed shipment, a missing contractor, an unexpected visitor, feeds the narrative of instability, and Cammy is caught in the center. Every instinct she has about leadership is being tested. Pride, stubbornness, and ambition push her forward, but each step forward is also a step into a trap carefully set by forces she doesn't fully understand. In Landman, mistakes aren't forgiven, they are exploited. And Cammy's refusal to acknowledge her limitations could be the key to her downfall. Even the smallest ripple can create a tidal wave. As CTT grows stronger and more stable, the cartel might shift focus from Cammy to Tommy, seeing a more lucrative, more controlled target. This shift could put Tommy in danger too. For the first time, his decisions aren't just strategic, they're personal. If cartel influence threatens his son Cooper, the protective instinct we've seen in Tommy will rise, and it could push him into actions that change the entire balance of power. Meanwhile, Rebecca watches silently, keeping her cards close, analyzing every outcome, and ensuring that her investigation remains intact. Every character is moving in a world where trust is fragile, where alliances are temporary, and where survival depends on anticipating threats before they strike. By the end of this section, the stakes are clear. Cammy is isolated, surrounded by unseen dangers, and unprepared for the consequences of her decisions. Tommy is rising in power, observing the chaos silently, and only intervening when absolutely necessary. Rebecca is an invisible force, collecting evidence, shaping the battlefield without anyone realizing it. And the cartel is patient, strategic, and deadly. Season 3 isn't just about who will win, it's about who will survive. The calm before the storm has ended, and the first domino has already fallen. Cammy may think she's in control, but in Landman, control is an illusion. And the price of being wrong is higher than ever before. The danger for Cammy isn't just immediate. It's invisible, strategic, and relentless. The cartel is moving quietly, like predators circling prey. They don't need explosions or gunfire to make their point. A missed shipment here, a delayed payment there, a contractor who suddenly refuses to honor a deal. These are warnings, subtle signals designed to destabilize her authority and erode her confidence. Cammy still believes she can handle it on her own, but the walls are closing in. Every decision she makes in isolation amplifies the risk. The more she tries to assert control, the more the hidden dangers Monty left behind begin to reveal themselves. These aren't just business complications, they're traps. Monty's hidden documents weren't accidents. They were a map of power, influence, and peril. And Cammy is walking blind through a minefield she didn't even know existed. At the same time, Tommy's rise at CTT is striking in its contrast. While Cammy struggles with instability, he is building strength. Each investment he secures, each new partnership, and every strategic move cements his power. He isn't focused on revenge in a dramatic, destructive way. His revenge is subtler. It's letting Cammy face the consequences of her choices while he grows untouchable. And the more the cartel pressures M-Tex, the clearer the contrast becomes. Cammy scrambles. Tommy strengthens. Pride and stubbornness versus calm, calculated strategy. It's a lesson in power, patience, and control that she doesn't yet understand. Every misstep Cammy makes adds weight to Tommy's momentum. Survival isn't about fighting. It's about adapting, anticipating, and understanding that the strongest player doesn't strike first. They survive first. Meanwhile, Rebecca operates like a shadow inside CTT, calm, observant, and always 3 steps ahead. But what if her loyalty isn't to Tommy at all? What if every subtle decision she makes, every document she reviews, and every question she asks is part of a federal investigation? Her role gives her access to the lifeblood of the company: contracts, financial transfers, land acquisitions, drilling permits, internal disputes. If M-Tex is connected to cartel money, and Monty's hidden deal suggests it is, then Rebecca isn't just COO and counsel. She's the perfect embedded agent, quietly gathering evidence that could unravel an entire criminal network. Cammy has no idea that the real threat isn't just outside her office, it's inside her company. Every choice she makes is being cataloged, analyzed, and potentially used against her, turning her own strength into vulnerability. As the cartel escalates pressure, Cammy's panic begins to rise. Pride battles fear, ambition clashes with reality, and every hidden deal Monty left behind starts to feel like a ticking time bomb. She refuses to ask Tommy for help because asking would be admitting weakness. But pride has a cost.